Hey everybody, this past weekend I got to go to British Columbia. I live in northern Washington, not too far from the Canadian border. I was able to visit a town that the Indigenous people group are the Stahelis people, and the anglicized version of Sasquatch came from. So they have their own spiritual being who is a protector of the land, and as a result of being in that area, there was lots of Indigenous art for what we now call Sasquatch. As a result, I wanted to talk about the family upon which we get Indigenous. So if we were to be studying Indigenous with students, obviously the first thing to do would be to look up the definition, or to make sure that everybody's on the same page with a clear definition. We can quickly learn that it relates to being of a certain place. So there can be Indigenous people, there can be Indigenous plants. I was obviously using it in relationship to the people group, the Stahelis people group, who were the original inhabitants of this land in lower British Columbia. The next thing we can do is look and see how Indigenous is built. You can do this lots and lots of different ways. I am providing you a matrix if you're on my email list from which you can build Indigenous, but if you are approaching this in a way where you want to explore how to find the root, you can certainly go to Atom Online, type in Indigenous, and you're going to see that it's got a series of relatives. So you can track it from the late Latin to the Old Latin, and then all the way down into the Proto-Indo-European root. Immediately you're going to get some big clues. Now if we take the Latin infinitive form Gignere and we look at the four principal parts, which is how we get bases from Latin verbs into English. So if we peel off the suffix from the fourth principal part, we're going to peel off the US, and then there's another suffix, a stem suffix, the IT, that we peel off. And because this is English, there potential final E that's going to be added. And in this family, we see that E is really important in the construction of some words and is not present in the construction of others, and so that's why it's being marked with the parentheses in the matrix. Indigenous also has an INDI prefix, and this is one that is also an indigent. Doesn't show up a lot, but it shows up and we certainly know that it's there, and it comes from ENDO, and it's in, within. There's words like endoscopy, endospore, endomorph that are all related. They all have this idea of inside, within, internal. And so Indigenous with the GENE meaning produce, bear, birth, beget, it's born within. People who were born within this place are the Indigenous people. This family is massive. The matrix that I'm including here and that I'll include in my worksheet that I send out will not be comprehensive. It's going to be just a little taste of this family. If you look at words just built off of this same base, we get words like oxygen, we get words like generate, generic, photogenic, cryogenic, genotype. It is a massive word family. And then if we go beyond the family, that's just built on the same base, and we go into the broader family, it gets even bigger with words like pregnant, and the GN base in pregnant is to birth, to produce, and malign, and we get words like gent and gentleman and gender and genre. There's a lot to explore there, but we're just going to focus on some of these relatives here that are built off of the JENE base that means to produce. So beyond building Indigenous, let's also build a few other words. If we build disingenuine, we're going to start with a DIS prefix, add that to an IN prefix, then we've got our base, G-E-N-E, and we build with an connecting value plus an I-N-E. And obviously from there you could go back to genuine from disingenuine. How does genuine have a sense of producing or birthing? Sometimes the denotation doesn't feel as strong in our current understanding of a definition, but if something's genuine, it is in its natural state, how it was born, it's authentic. So you can see that tie back to this base that is about birth, producing, begetting. It does tie in. Of course, the word genocide is also built off of here, and you are probably very familiar with the CIDE from homicide and suicide. So with genocide, it is killing off a people group, right? The indigenous people are people who are from within a place, and genocide was a term coined in World War II or after World War II. It's an item online that referred to, the intentional killing off of a people group. That is where that relates. There's lots of places that you can go with this word family, lots of words that can be studied. I feel like this is a super important base for history, for social studies, for science. It's one that really influences all aspects of our lives on a regular basis. So really fabulous word family to peek into. I also want to take the time here to say that the number one goal of word study for me, why I do this and why I'm passionate about it, is because I have seen how focusing on the sounds of words at the cost of meaning and how they're built plays out down the road for kids, where they might be able to read some words just fine if they've learned like syllable division, but spelling them can be much, much more difficult. And so we can learn to both read and spell words by looking at morphemes, as long as we're also looking at what the letters are doing in the words. And so I'm starting by focusing on the meaning. That is what we can relate to. It's what we can anchor ourselves to. And then we can look at what the letters are doing. And so with a word like gene and genetic, this is a great opportunity to see how the letter G can spell J. And do we ever see this word family having a G spell G? That's something you could explore. But with genetics, general, indigenous, all of these, we're seeing that G spell J. And that's a great place to start. For kids who are brand new, early literacy learners, using language like G can spell J, J can spell J. That can make all the difference, because for some kids, we end up trying to undo these things they've learned, like, and this one comes up for me a lot, like SH is how we spell sh. Well, yes, SH can spell sh, but lots of other letters spell sh too. We have S spelling sh, we have C spelling sh. So helping kids keep their mind widened to the variety of roles that letters can play from the beginning can set them up for much better success. So I would encourage you to start thinking about that word can as you're teaching. Just that little switch can make all the difference. All right, see you later. Thank you.